Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shira Sati Gaur Pravakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shira Sati Gaur Pravakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shira Sati Gaur Pravakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Founder Acharya Shila Prabhupada ISKCON Founder Acharya ISKCON Acharya Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai PPT Acharya Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vrindavan Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Ayodhya Ki Jai Mathura Ki Jai Haridas Thakur Ki Jai and all glories to the previous acharyas.
Hare Krishna.
So before I start, I'd like to read the English translation of this. We sing every morning, but we don't. Sometimes we don't read the translations, and of course we know it was composed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because he personally had his Radha Madhava deities which he worshipped. And For years they were lost, but then one devotee, he found them in Orissa, and now they're being looked after by Indrajuna Maharaj now. So the translation is, Krishna is the lover of Radha. He displays many amorous pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan. He is the lover of the cowherd maidens of Braja, the holder of the great hill named Govardhan, the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, and the delighter of the inhabitants of Braja. He wanders in the forest along the banks of the river Jamuna. And then there's a little subsection here. Srila Prabhupada was very fond of singing this song, and it just before his lectures in Allahabad and Gorakhpur, Srila Prabhupada fell into a trance after singing the first two lines, and after some time he came back to external consciousness and said, "Now just chant Hare Krishna." Srila Prabhupada said that this song is a picture of Vrindavan. Everything is there. Srimati Radharani, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yashoda, and all the cowherd boys. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 8th Chapter, verse 47. Pitaru Namarin, Pitaru Valavindratam,
Pitaru Namavidetam,
Krishna Dara Kadarityatam,
Krishna Dara Vaketam,
Gaya Anti Alyapti Vikradvadyo,
Gayantyamtyamtyamtyamayo,
Yaloka Samalapaham,
Yaloka Shamalapaham,
Pritaru Namavitratam,
Pitaru Namavidetam,
Krishna Dara Bhaktarihityatam,
Krishna Dara Vaketam,
Gaya Yanti Ajapike Bhavyo,
Gayantyamtyamtyamayo,
Lala Yalo Loka Samalapaham.
Yaloka Shamalapaham.
Pitaro Nanva Videtam,
Pitaro Namavidetam,
Vishnu Darar Bhakehitam,
Krishna Dara Vaketam,
Gayanti Ajapika Vayo,
Gayanti Ajapikavayo,
Yaloka Samalapaham,
Yaloka Shamalapaham.
Anyone else?
Pitaro Namavidetam,
Pitaro Namavidetam,
Krishna Darabaketam,
Krishna Dara Vaketam,
Gayantyajapikavayo,
Gayanti Ajapikavayo,
Yaloka Shamalapaham,
Yaloka Shamalapaham. Pitaro Namavidetam, Krishna Dara Vaketam, Gayanti Adhyapikavayo, Yaloka Shamalopaham,
Word for word. Pitaru, the actual father and mother of Krishna.
the actual father and mother of Krishna.
Na,
No,
not.
not.
Anuva anuvitatam, anubhavitatam, enjoyed, Krishna, of Krishna, Udara, magnanimous, Arabhakti tatam, the childhood pastimes he performed, Gayanti, are glorifying, Adya api, even today, Garbhavaya, great sages and saintly persons,
Great sages and saintly persons.
Yat, which is Loka Samala Apaham,
Yoga Shamala Apaham.
by hearing of which the contamination of the whole material world is vanquished.
The hearing of which the contamination of the whole material world is vanquished.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although Krishna was so pleased with Vasudeva and Devaki, he descended as their son. They could not enjoy Krishna's magnanimous childhood pastimes, which are so great that simply chanting about them vanquishes the contamination of this material world, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, however, enjoyed these pastimes fully. Therefore, their position is always better than that of Vasudeva and Devaki. Purport. Krishna actually took birth from the womb of Devaki, but just after his birth he was transferred to the home of Mother Yashoda. Devaki could not even had Krishna suck her breast. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj was astonished. How had Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj become so fortunate that they enjoyed the complete childhood pastimes of Krishna, which are glorified by saintly persons, which they had done in the past, by which they were elevated to such elevated position. To such an exalted position. I was born a dark moon to my spiritual master with my knowledge about birth and the basis of spiritual master about Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, or the Guru Bhagavad Ki Jai. So, of course, the endless purport, the question is asked, what have Nanda Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, what have they done in the past which they were elevated to such a position of seeing Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, and he appeared as their son. So Krishna has two types, but actually he has two leelas. He has the unmanifested leela in Goloka Vrindavan and the manifested leela in Gokul pastimes. So of course this is the Gokul pastimes. So in Goloka Vrindavan, it says in Gopal Champu by Jiva Goswami that Radha and Krishna are sitting on a throne and they're surrounded by all their eternal Nitya-siddhas, their eternal associates, which include Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda and the other eternal associates. So it's described by Jiva Goswami, he describes that the manifest pastimes are just of the pastimes, the unmanifested pastimes, they are just in the thought, in the conception of the mind. So then, because they're in the conception of the mind, they have to be, such as the pastimes are eternal, they're manifest in Goloka, in Gokul. So this is how Nanda Maharaj are fortunate, because they're always with Krishna and they know the pastimes, and they're always, when Krishna appears, that they're always the eternal parents of Krishna, always. Just like in Mayapur Dham, Sajimata and Jagannath Mishra, they are non-different from Mata Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, because they came, Nanda Maharaj and Mata Yashoda, they appeared as Jagannath Mishra and Sajimata in Mayapur Dham. So these pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan, they are being narrated by two poets, two young boys called Srinagar, Kanta and Madhu Kanta. Now, so in the book later, Jiva Goswami describes how Krishna, or no, it's not Krishna, rather Krishna asks these boys, how can you remember these pastimes? He said. And they replied, Krishna, don't you remember when you were being tied up, or tried to be tied up by Mother Yashoda, and you released the two sons of Kavera from their curse? He said, we are those two boys. After we were liberated, and after we appeared in Goloka Vrindavan, because we witnessed for so many years, we witnessed all these pastimes. And so therefore we can, because we witness these pastimes, we can actually tell them to you here. And so these pastimes of Radha and Krishna, of course some are very confidential, which we won't go into, but first these pastimes, as it says in the word for word, by hearing of the contamination of the whole material world is vanquished. Just by hearing these pastimes from a bona fide speaker. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he said one time, hearing Hari Guitar is very important, very important. But what is more important is who you hear it from. So if we hear the Hari Guitar from a pure devotee, self-realized devotee, who's actually living in those pastimes. So it's said, and I've heard this, and it's in scriptures, that even hearing the Rasa Leela from the lips of a pure devotee will get rid of all material lust. But it has to be you have to hear from a pure devotee. And you have to hear submissively. Because we cannot see Krishna directly. We cannot see with our material eyes. So how do we see? We see through our ears. These are the what's the word? These are the we see Krishna by hearing.
Receptacle.
Yeah, receptacle, that's the word, looking for, These are receptacle for seeing Krishna. Because with our material eyes, we cannot see Krishna. Because we're not qualified. But due to the mercy of the spiritual master, the pure devotee, we can, if we're submissive love to the spiritual master and fully surrender to Krishna, to the spiritual master, that's okay. Now, this word surrender, when we hear this word surrender, we think, like there's a guy there with a white flag and hands up. No, actually surrender actually means taking full shelter of. That's what the word surrender actually means. Because in English, sometimes English words, they cannot, we say English words in English, but they can't really transmit the proper meaning of it.
From the Sanskrit.
Yeah, from the Sanskrit. So surrender actually means taking full shelter of maybe spiritual master, Guru, Krishna. So that's what a surrendered soul is, that he's taken full shelter of the spiritual master. Now, these pastimes in Vrindavan, some are very long, some are complicated, full of details, but now these pastimes show that first the pastimes are there, they're eternal, but behind the first from these pastimes there is some tattva, some truth, eternal truth. And one of my favourite pastimes is a very simple pastime and just shows you how merciful Srimati Radharani is to the conditioned souls. So one time Sri Radharani was going to go to worship Suryadev, which she did once a week. And the temple is, I've been there, it's not far from Radhakund, Shamakund's not far from there. So on the way, as they're approaching the temple, she could hear the sound of somebody crying, or the sound of somebody crying, and it sounded like a baby. And so then she went, and no, she didn't went, she asked one of her Sakhis, please go and find out what is that, what is happening, what is that noise coming from, that sound coming from. So the one gopi went, she came back, and said, yes, what is it? He said, Oh, the Brijbasis, they were chasing a jackal, and the jackal went into a hole to escape the Brijbasis. And they put some brush in front, and they set fire to it. And you won't. Now, if you've been to India and you've heard the sound of a jackal, it sounds like a baby crying in agony. Literally, I've heard it. Staying in Mayapur for 5 years. So I was staying in the Singh Brahmachari ashram, and in the back garden every night there'd be a jackal howling because they're hungry, and it just sounds like a baby crying, severely starved. So then Radharani, she goes and tells the Brijbasis, stop, put the fire out. So they douse the fire out, and she picks up the she jackal and gives a big hug to the she jackal. So what can we learn from this pastime? That the jackal can be compared to the conditioned jiva soul. And we're caught in the material world in a big hole, and we're suffering in the forest fire of material suffering, Sarvadava Liva Loka. And the Shrimati Radharani and one of her qualities is she's very merciful. She's full of mercy. She comes and she picks us up. And now, of course we won't see Radharani like that. But now we, in our line, we have a spiritual master, the line of spiritual masters. So the spiritual masters have two aspects. One, he's an eternal, he's an expansion or a manifestation of Lord Nityananda. And the other one, he's Radha Priya Saki. He's an eternal associate of Radharani. As we sing every morning, he's serving Radha and Krishna every day. Every morning he's serving in the spiritual world. In that form, he has a female body. And so therefore, and he puts out the forest of the material existence in this world. And so also Krishna. So Krishna, he also has a guru, spiritual master. We all know this. That's in Ujjain. One of them, that's it. But his original spiritual master is Radharani, because we know that in this is Adi Leela 4:124. Radhika Prema Guru Ami Sishyanaha Sada Amanama Natre Nate Bolejat. The love of Radha is my teacher, and I am her dancing pupil. Her prema makes me dance various dances. So this is what Krishna is saying. In our line, Krishna is the topmost. But here, in that verse, Kaviraj Goswami is saying Radharani is the topmost guru, topmost. But then she comes, but then is the topmost guru because she is controlling Krishna by her love. No one can control Krishna. No one can control him. But Krishna is controlled by the love of his devotee. And so therefore, and then the next line is, what is Krishna doing? Radharani is asking. Oh, he's down by the bank of the Jamuna. So what's he doing? He's dancing around a Keli Kadamba tree. Because when he sees a Keli Kadamba tree, he thinks it's you, and he's dancing around it. So therefore, Krishna is fully controlled by love, and as we heard the other day, I think yesterday from Maharaj, that generally Krishna he's dependent on his devotee. In Vrindavan, Krishna is dependent on his devotee in so many ways. Like Mother Yashoda, he's dependent on Mother Yashoda. Nanda Maharaj, dependent on many things, but in Vaikuntha, he's not. The residents of Vaikuntha, they are dependent upon him. But in Gokul, Krishna is dependent on him because, according to their relationship they have with Krishna. Some are servants, some are friends, some are mothers, and some are, of course, lovers. So everything depends on our relationship with Krishna, everything. And we have all of us here in this room and in the villages round and all over this planet, all of us, every spirit soul has an intrinsic, individual relationship with Krishna. Individual. It's just like, I read some years back, scientists discovered that when you see one morning, this was some years back at the manor, wake up one night, it was like Christmas time, there was no snow. Overnight there was about a foot of snow overnight. And you look, it's like nice and flat. But scientists have proven that each individual snowflake is not the same. They're different, completely different. Different shape, different size. So when the snowflake lands, it just fits like a mystical jigsaw. It just goes, and then the layers mount up. So all of us have an intrinsic, individual relationship with Krishna, and we have to discover that relationship with Krishna through the mercy of the spiritual master. Because for those who've taken initiation, Diksha, actually Diksha means he gives Divya Gyan. He knows he's actually linking us to Krishna. He's linking our relationship with Krishna, the spiritual master, and our eternal service with Krishna, whatever it may be. So therefore, we're always indebted to the spiritual master for always engaging us in devotional service. So of course, the devotees have different natures. Some are very outgoing, and some are more inward, internal. So then the spiritual master, he engages that nature in Krishna's service. So therefore we should always be grateful to the spiritual master and always thank him. And that debt, of course, we can never pay back. Of course, Krishna himself, he can never pay back the love himself, because it says in the 10th canto, it says in it, Apayaham, I said, I cannot, when the gopis, when after they're reunited, he said, I cannot pay back. I'm indebted to you. Cannot pay it back. Because, now this might seem funny, because one of the Krishna's opulences, he's the all strength, all wealth, everything in it. He says, I am the source, Aham Sapasha Prabhu. I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. So he owns everything. But then he can't pay back the love of the gopi. He can't pay it back. Cannot. So how does Krishna do that? He comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Lord Nityananda, with the Maha Mantra. That's how he pays it back. With the Mahaprabhu's appearance, there's the external reasons and internal reasons. Of course, the external reason is to freely give prema bhakti to everybody, every single person. Every single person. It says in Adi Leela 4:440. I can't. But Bengali is not good, but I'll do the English translation to it. Thus Mahaprabhu spread kirtan even amongst the untouchables. He wore a wreath of the name and prema, which he garlanded the entire material world. In fact, this whole this world is just garlanded with prema. So then we can ask, am I garlanded with prema? You see, we can say, if you're honest, we say no. This is because we don't want it. We're happy with our material sense gratification. We're happy with our big bank balance, family life, everything. And what is needed is just the greed to get it. Greed. Now, greed, we know now. We've all experienced this. We see some big feast, something we really like, some preparation we like, and we go for it. And we whack it in, as we used to say, whack it in. That's greed. But if we turn that, of course, prachadam is spiritual. But if it's fully spiritual, our mentality which, oh yes, Krishna, Mahaprabhu has come to give prema, bhakti. So therefore we just have to, spirit internally, be greedy for it internally. Just be greedy. And then, because living in Mayapur, what time is it? Okay, finishing. Living in Mayapur for 5 years, taking devotees on parakram around the 9 islands, you see some wonderful deities there. So when you go to many places, you'll see deities of Gaunitai, where their hands are like this, or one like this, one like this. So Gaunitai is saying, come, take it, come on, just grab it, just take it. But we don't want it. In our heart we don't want. We're happy with our material existence, which is our misfortune. So we just have to be greedy, spiritually greedy, to get Krishna, because this human form of life is very rarely attained. We know there's 8,400,000 species of life, and the smallest is the 400,000 species of human beings. So for those who are very fortunate, we have to somehow get that mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, follow what they're instructing us through their disciples, through the Goswamis and so on like that, through their direct disciples, and their instructions are written down for us every morning. Mahaprabhu has given us also some direct instructions through the ISKCON prayers. So this is all we have to do, and then if we do that, then we will develop. Then we go through from Shraddha to Prema. Then we go from. Then there's another level from Sneha to Mahabhav, and then our life will be perfect, and then we can go to the spiritual world and do our eternal service. So I'll finish there. Is there any questions or anything you want to throw at me, tomatoes or something? I don't mind.
Prabhu, you mentioned Radharani used to go to a temple.
Yeah, Suryakund. The Surya Day. Yeah.
Surya Day.
Yeah.
Okay, I've not heard of that.
Yeah, once a week she used to go.
Mm-hmm.
Once a week she used to go to worship Surya Day.
Yeah.
The sun god.
Right.
So, but the thing is, this is wonderful, another little pastime. So, Radharani was in the home of her husband, so-called husband.
Yeah.
Right? Abhimanyu.
Yeah.
So Jatila would be watching, if Krishna would sneak up, and sneak in. So then, once a week, Purnamasi said to Jatila, it'll be good. It'll be good for you, for your daughter-in-law, to worship Surya Dev. You know, because you'll get so much benefit from Surya Dev, so much benefit materially. So then, once a week, I forget what day it was. So she'd go once a week, and then she went, Then on the way, they find that Jatila would go with Radharani. Jatila would go, and Jatila would both go.
Yeah.
So on the way, they meet two Brahmana boys from Mathura. And he said, Jatila says, you two Brahmana boys? He said, yes, we're from Mathura. And one of them says, oh, good. We need, because we got no pujari to do. My daughter-in-law wants to worship Surya Dev, but we got no pujari. Can you do it? So one keeps quiet. The other one says, his disciple says, my guru doesn't do it. He says, but we will give you some Lakshmi or something for afterwards. And he said, no, he won't do that. But then he said, please, it's for my daughter-in-law. And then the one who's quiet takes a look and says, and signals to the disciples and says, okay, we'll do it. So they do that, they go there. And of course, these two Brahmana boys, one is Krishna, the other one is Madhamangal.
Oh, okay.
Krishna's the quiet one. You know.
Oh.
Yeah. So then they start doing the puja. Now Surya is also another name for Krishna. So there's a specific mantra for worshipping Surya Dev. I mean the sun god Surya Dev. But so while they're doing the puja, Krishna, he changes the words around. So Radharani could understand this is Krishna. Speak that boy, that pujari is Krishna. And Radharani is smiling. Oh yes, this is my beloved. This is my beloved. And then after the puja, he said, and then actually Jatila said, oh, wonderful arti puja. Want to give you something? He said, no. Krishna said, Madhamangal says, my guru said doesn't accept nothing. But I just want to give him this I just want to give him Radharani's locket. And he said, he'll accept that. And said, and you? He said, and Madhamangal said, I'll just take all the offerings. Because they offer burgers as well to Surya Dev. He said, I'll just take I'll just take the ladus. I'll do that. Which is typical about Madhamangal anyway, So that's how, yeah.
Beautiful pastime, yeah. So does that temple still exist?
Yeah. You go to Radhakunda, just ask for the temple Surya Dev.
Nearby? Or
Yes, nearby, yeah.
Okay.
It's a small temple. It's not a big thing.
Nice.
Big building, sorry, to say. Okay. Anything else? Kantaraj Singh Bhagavatam Ki Jai.
Yeah.